Now, Wind Waker is the only game that I have any experience playing prior to doing this Zelda series. Because I had a GameCube as a kid and I had a friend who loaned me Wind Waker. I made it to the point where Link loses his sword early on in the game, but I never managed to get my sword back as a kid. Finally returning to it as an adult, I can say I absolutely loved this game, but this one took me some time to get through though. I had some issues early on running this game on my Steam Deck and more than a few crashes. As an outsider looking in, this is kind of like the Zelda game that I always considered to be the pirate Zelda game. I absolutely love the art style of this game though. I feel like the cartoonish art style and the cel shaded animation has helped this game age perfectly, and it's still beautiful and holds up to this day. This game takes place 100 years after Ocarina of Time, but is not a sequel to Majora's Mask. I know they are on two separate timelines. For this series, I wanted to play any sequels immediately after the game that it's a sequel to, so I played Majora's Mask right after Ocarina of Time, and I plan on playing Phantom Hourglass after I finish this review. Anyways, the world has been flooded since we left the future timeline, because Link wasn't there to save the day and Ganondorf broke free from his imprisonment. Quick side note, I was so nostalgic playing this game again. I absolutely loved this game as a kid, even though I never got very far in it. I saw myself in Link a lot. This blonde hair, blue-eyed kid who's kind of lazy and is loved by his family. I have a little old Asian grandmother, and as a kid I always saw my grandma in Link's grandmother. And the scene watching Link say goodbye to his grandmother one last time as he leaves to go save his sister, it made me the most emotional I think I've felt in this entire series so far. I think the opening to this game has me more invested than the previous Zelda titles before this. I don't know what it is exactly, but this game just has a huge sense of adventure. At least way more than the previous Zelda games that I've played before this. I think the side characters are also just way more interesting in this Zelda game over the other two that I've played before this. Maybe interesting is the wrong word, but I think Link having a family in this one and the pirate crew feeling like a family in this one makes me way more interested in the fate of these characters. So lots of spoilers going forward. The big reveal that Tetra was Zelda actually caught me off guard in this game. If you've watched my previous reviews on the Zelda games, you would know that I already had the reveal that Sheik was Zelda spoiled for me. So getting a reveal like that in this game, that Tetra is actually Zelda, was really cool to me. If we look at the character of Ganondorf, he's an old man stuck in his ways. He can't let go of the past, and at the same time has become strangely philosophical. And because of his history with Hyrule, the current iteration of these characters are left to deal with the feud and the conflict that's going on now. And not only are they left to deal with a conflict that started long before they were even around, but they're left with, and this is a big one for me, they're left with a flooded and ruined Hyrule. And all of this just because the version of Zelda from Ocarina of Time sent Link back in time. So I think it's very fitting that King Daphnis ends up using the Triforce to give the new generation a fighting chance. I think this final showdown with Ganondorf is one of my favorite fights in the entire series so far. And I feel like with each game I play in this series, I keep saying that. If you've seen my other Zelda videos, you would know I keep comparing the Legend of Zelda series to Souls-like games like Dark Souls and Elden Ring. This fight didn't feel very Souls-like to me though. I don't know if there's a lot of sword fights in Dark Souls or Elden Ring. I gotta think of Souls-like games to have like multi-stage, giant boss fights. At least this fight isn't the kind of fight I think of for a Souls-like game. I don't know how else to say it than to say the final fight of Wind Waker, in the best way possible, felt like a Legend of Zelda boss battle. You have Zelda there to assist you, and you have to have a sword fight with the big bad of the entire series. I said in my Majora's Mask video that I loved it because it was almost like a Dark Souls style boss fight and it felt very eldritch. And I love this final boss fight just as much, if not more, for the exact opposite reason. They took it in a completely different direction than Majora's Mask, and I love that for it. This game stands out on its own, and because it's so different and has such a huge sense of adventure, I could definitely see myself coming back to play it again someday. And oh my god, I can't believe it took me this long to talk about it, but you have control over the camera in this game. Not having control over the camera has been such a struggle for me in the previous 2 Zelda games, and it just feels so good to be able to have control over the camera without having to hit a button to change my perspective. Combat in this game feels extremely fluid. You can swing your sword into a 4-hit combo and even parry. It's the best the combat has felt in this series so far, honestly. And the music in this game is absolutely incredible. I didn't really bring up the music in Majora's Mask because it just wasn't really doing it for me. It just didn't seem like Majora's Mask was really an improvement over Ocarina of Time as far as the music goes. But holy cow, did this game do it for me. Similar to Ocarina, I find myself humming this game's soundtrack even when I'm not playing it. And I think that's a testament to the Zelda franchise. It's possibly the only video game franchise that can get me thinking about the music of that game when I'm not even currently playing the game. And then on top of that, have multiple games that get me to do this. And then that brings me to the Windwaker, which I thought was a clever twist on the Ocarina from the previous 2 games. Rather than playing the music yourself, you conduct the winds to play the music for you, which I thought was pretty cool and a nice change of pace from the last 2 games that I've played, having the Ocarina in both of those games. In conclusion, I think that Wind Waker is my favorite Legend of Zelda game I've played yet, which feels crazy to say because when I was playing Majora's Mask, I found myself missing the gameplay of Adult Link, but when I was playing through Wind Waker, they made this game so much fun that I didn't even find myself thinking about an adult Link. It's probably a little bit of a nostalgia thing, seeing as this is the only Legend of Zelda game I've even played a little bit before starting this series. But whether it's nostalgia or not, you can tell the creators of this game really put their heart into it. With that being said, and this probably being my favorite Zelda game I've played so far, I would give this one an easy S tier. If you enjoyed this video, then please check out my other videos on The Legend of Zelda, and keep on gaming and be sure to like and subscribe. Peace.